Hey friends, all right, let's look at drafting scenery. So I have a set that's here. I've already done a ground plan, which you know how to do. So that's over here. There's a ground plan view. And now I'm going to do some elevations, which are the front view of the walls on this set. So we're back in my scenery layer. You can see I have a set of walls, right? There are 4 of them. I'm going to call them A, B, C, and D. And wall A over here, you will notice it's a theater flat, right? My first step is to create a symbol, right? And I'll call it wall A, okay? It's going to put that into the folders, right? I will then do that for each of my additional walls. The reason I create symbols instead of just using the wall as it is that if I make an adjustment to the design in this symbol, it will then replicate throughout my drafting package. So let's assume I've done that for all of these walls. I haven't, but let's assume that I have, because that'll be your first step. The next thing I'll do is take this wall, I'll start a new drafting layer in my Vectorworks file. And I'll take this wall and I'll grab that symbol, right? And I'll bring it in over here. So this is actually not a symbol. This is just a wall. I can come up to my resource manager and I can find, I'm in the wrong show. I can find that wall I just created. If I scroll down here, I have wall A, right? Double click on it. Now it's stuck on my cursor. It's not straight, right? That's okay. I'm going to straighten it out after I draw it in. So I'm again on a drafting layer, creating this straight wall so that I can take a front viewport of it. Okay. So after I've created that wall, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to look at it from the front view. Yay, it's a wall. I'm then going to draw a rectangle around it and create that viewport. View, create viewport. I'm going to put it on my elevations sheet. There's already going to be a wall there, but we'll come back to that problem, right? So I actually already have a viewport, and it's like, hey, what'd you do? You deleted my previous wall, and you put a new wall in, and that's all fine. So there's my new wall A drawing, okay? I'm going to delete these other viewports. If you look over here in the Viewports tab, they're now kind of poof, gone. And so we're back to this one drawing, right? We're going to call it wall A. We're going to make its drawing number A. They can match. And that's it, right? Typically, elevations will be drafted in 1/2 inch, not in 1/4 inch scale. But I'm on a little tiny 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I would at least be on 11 by 17, if not a full Arch D sheet. For yours, this was just in a mode that I could easily print it out. But let's say I need it to be 1/2 inch scale. Yeah, it'll fit well enough. I do all the same stuff you've been doing, right? I put annotations on it, all of those things happen. Once that's done and I have it and it's wall A, it's on sheet 3, the next thing I'm going to do is add drawing labels to my ground plan view. So if I come back over here and I look at my ground plan on my sheet layer, you'll notice it has a section marker on it. You'll notice it has some little in circles for the height of each of these steps. So this is a 9-inch step and that's an 18-inch step for the height of those platforms. This is my wall A, right? And I'm going to come into annotations and I'm going to add a drawing label. This has changed since the last time I explained it. They change the way that these specific settings work all the time. So I'm going to come into tool sets and I'm going to scroll down until I find a drawing label. It may be all the way down here at the bottom, right? Reference marker tool, okay? So I pick up my reference marker tool. I'm going to actually hit the little thing and I'm going to go to replace. And I want to make sure I'm actually getting this one, which has a little arrow. It has the number of the drawing over the sheet number, okay? And a little arrow. You can use this one or you can use that one. Either one of those two will point at the thing that is being referenced, and that's a helpful thing to have, okay? So I'm going to use this one. Choose plugin style. Okay. Object preferences. Okay. So now I'm making that kind of marker. I'm going to drop it in. It has a broken link and it has no idea what it's pointing to. So I'm going to actually link it to the viewport I just created, and that's over here in its object info. So if I come over to object info, I can say, hey man, link this to wall A. And now it says A on sheet 3. It's also pointing at the wrong direction. So if I say minus 120, that wasn't it. See if I can point basically at the wall, right? And I might have to kind of play with it to get it to point in the correct direction. So it's pointing at the wall that it is acting as the marker for. The other thing I may do, just because this is again, it's a really small copy of our ground plan. Our actual ground plan is only 3/16 inch scale, which is not even full anything. In order to make it all kind of fit better, I can, and you shouldn't have to do it because you should be on a bigger sheet of paper, but I can come over here and I can say, hey man, let's be smaller. So I can scale factor that marker, make it half as big. And now it kind of fits more nicely on my page. So now I know that drawing A on sheet 3 is where I'll find that elevation. So once you have created symbols, right, you've aligned them up on a drafting layer so that you're easily able to straighten them all out and take viewports going across, right? Then your next step would be to come into your elevations, dimension them, etc., then come back to your ground plan and put drawing markers, right? Reference markers that will head to each of those drawings, okay? That is the task to draft a scenic package, right? If you have specific furniture that you've drawn, right? If you have something else that the shop would need to build rather than shop, that can also go into your drafting package, right? So you may have a elevations page for furniture or an elevations page for other elements of your set. If it's shopped things, you don't typically have to do that, right? They could become a list for your props person. So that is drafting scenic plates. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with for your project. Thanks, friends. Talk to you later. Bye.